Hi, I'm Cohen. I'm a junior in crop, and I started my SAT with a 570, and I got up to an 800.
Nice. Let's take it back a little bit. What happened that made you realize that you needed our service?
I knew I wanted a high score on the math SAT. I knew I had at least a 700 or higher. And when I first took the PSAT and I got a 570, I was honestly shocked. I had thought I would have done better. And I knew I had to join some sort of program that would help me study to get to where I wanted to get to.
Why were you shocked?
Before I had joined the program, I was a good math student and I didn't think I would score as low as I did.
So you'd always been like basically growing up, your math, was that your strength?
It was my strength. Yeah.
Is it still your strength?
Not that much anymore.
Do you want to like is it like are you trying to be an engineer or something or not really?
No.
No, okay. When did it stop being your strength?
Around pre-calc.
So basically like growing up, like so I would say, so when did you take algebra one?
Seventh grade.
So like you were good there.
Seventh, eighth, geometry, algebra two, ninth grade, that was all good. And once I got into 10th grade pre-calc, that's where it just stopped.
That didn't correlate with COVID at all, or did it?
No, COVID was geometry for me.
And you were still good.
It was so fine. Yeah.
Damn. So whatever happened in 10th and pre-cal is what really tanked it.
Yeah.
And then this year you're in AP stats, right?
Yeah.
So basically you were surprised because you grew up good at math.
Yeah.
But did you take a second to think about like, damn, maybe it was the pre-cal that kind of messed me up a little bit, or not really?
Not really.
Damn, okay. So you were just like, no way, bro. What were you kind of expecting?
I was expecting to at least get up to 700. Like I knew I was gonna have to put in a lot of work, but I knew I could get myself up to at least a 700.
Did you need something like a 700?
Yeah. To 10, like the colleges that I want to be able to apply to, I would have had to get at least a 700 to submit my SAT score.
Okay. So those schools needed like higher scores.
Yeah.
Like what kind of scores overall?
Like overall like 1450s and higher.
What schools are you trying to go to?
I want to go to like Northeastern, Michigan, UT. I want to be able to apply to those schools.
So, okay. And then all right, at that moment, like, did you try anything on your own to study?
I tried studying with Khan Academy, but I wasn't getting anywhere on my own. Like I wasn't able to form like a study plan that was actually working.
Why do you think that?
I think like to be able to get your score up, you need to have someone that knows how the SAT works. And for me, like with Khan Academy, like it was getting giving me problems that I knew wouldn't be on the SAT, or that I knew like if I would have seen once or twice, like it might not stick. So I know how to go somewhere that knew how to get kids like scores up no matter like where they're starting.
Like, you didn't trust that Khan Academy knew what you needed to know? Like, was that the whole thing, or was there more to it too? Was it also on your part? Like, did you feel like you couldn't
I
like
also couldn't like make myself study because it doesn't force you to study. You just get to do it whenever you want. And I wasn't doing that by myself.
yeah, because then like whatever, you have a test for like whatever AP you're taking, and you're like, okay, that's more important right now. Let me do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. It's very tough to be like, all right, I'm gonna self study and like squeeze out like an hour a day or whatever by myself.
I never did it. I was never able to do it.
Okay. And then okay, so did you even like get to like try it a little bit? Like how much of it did you like was it that you were like, okay, I'm gonna use con and then like you did it like a few times? Or did you like use it once in a while? Like how was your experience with that?
I used it once in a while. Like I started when junior year started, I was like, I'm gonna start studying right now because I wanted to be over with SAT early. I didn't want to take it a million times. And I signed up, you connect your college board account, and I would never go on it. I would go on it like once a week. And I knew it wasn't gonna go anywhere with that.
Got you. And then how'd you end up hearing about us?
I had heard of a lot of people in my school that had done it before and they were really happy with the results.
Okay. And then you heard about it. I forgot how you contacted us, right?
Yeah.
Um, at the time, like, did you have any expectations or apprehensions about the virtual group environment?
I honestly, at first, I didn't think I was gonna be able to like 4 hours on Zoom and like pay attention, and I was surprised. Like you genuinely can, and you have to be active the entire time. You have to be answering all the questions, and it doesn't feel as long as it actually is.
So it was not like the pandemic days.
No.
What do you think made it different?
I think having to answer questions, and if you got the question wrong, explaining it, like they would go through every single question anyone in your group got wrong. That helped a lot because even if you got it right, you might have just guessed it, like you weren't very sure on how to do it. So even when someone else got it wrong and they explained it, like it helped a lot in that end.
Yeah, and I guess the groups weren't like in the pandemic. The groups were like, or not groups. Your class, you had mad
Yeah,
kids. And then for us, it would be like maybe like 8 or 3 or 5. It depends on the group you're in, by the way.
yeah.
But yeah, cool. All right. So if somebody asked you, which I'm sure they have, how would you describe our service? Like, what should they know?
You need to know that you're gonna have to put in a lot of the effort. Just by signing up and going to classes, you're not gonna get the improve that like the increase in your score that you want to see. But if you put in the work and you put in all the effort that you need to, you'll 100% see it.
How much? But like, how much work?
A lot, like an extra AP class. Like
That's what I always say.
you need to put in a lot of work.
How'd you manage that though?
Honestly, I knew I wanted to get it over with, and that motivated me to get all my work done. And like you do have time for it. You tell yourself you don't, but you do. You just put at least an hour or two a day, or I would do it in some of my classes sometimes. Like you print out your packet and you take it wherever you need to go.
And low key. Well, what I tell people is like, look, you want to improve. Like people come to me all the time, like, I want to go up 200 points, 400 points. And I'm like, okay, listen, I'm not the one to say you can't. Because you can. And we've had students go up 300 points. 310 points actually was the record on the math. So I'm like, yeah, I know you can. But are you willing to sacrifice for what that takes? Because it's not meant to be free, right? Like think about it. If it was easy to go up 200, 150, or 100 even, then everyone would do it. Or if it was easy to get an 800, then everybody would do it, right? So I think it makes sense that it requires some sacrifice. I don't know, like,
Yeah, it's worth it.
right. I guess I can't say everybody hangs out with their friends. Maybe there's some people out there who are like, maybe they're, I don't know, in like 20 APs and in dual enrollment and blah, blah, blah. And like, genuinely, they don't have time for themselves. All right, you're in a special position. You should consider taking the course in the summer when you're not in that position. But otherwise, I like all the time when the student's like, I don't got time. I'm like, do you have friends? And the answer is like usually, yes, I have friends. I'm like, cool. Do you hang out with your friends? Yes, I do. How often? Once or twice a week. I'm like, cool. Would you be willing to sacrifice that for a bigger score? For just for like a month, 2 months and a half, you know? And I think that's the question that a lot of students have to ask themselves. How much did you have to sacrifice anything, or did you get away with not having to?
It there were some weeks that I stayed home, like I wouldn't go to a plan so I could finish my work, but honestly, not that much. I was able to manage my time.
So then there's that too. You just have to, there is always a more efficient way to do things.
Yeah.
You just got to manage it well. All right, cool. So any strategies to managing it aside from doing homework in class?
Not really. Just don't let yourself fall behind. Like don't be like, it's fine, I'll do it tomorrow. Like if you could get it done that day, just do it that day. And if anything, get ahead.
That's a good strategy. Because if you fall behind, I mean, that's what I tell the students is like, listen, let's say you have a Sunday class, right? Sunday class, cool. What a lot of kids, if they're not on point, will do is they wait till Saturday to do it, of course. Now you wait till Saturday and you have all of it to do. It's gonna take you like what, 6 hours?
Yeah, it
That's
takes a
kind of
while.
crazy. The same.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do it. Like if you wake up early and that's all you do all day, sure. Is that the best route? Probably not, right? Like, and what I've had a lot of other students tell me is that what they'll do is they'll be like, look, I don't necessarily have to get an hour every day, but I'll get something every day. So they'll hit like 30 minutes quick, and then another day they have an hour and an hour, or maybe a little more to do that. and they start plugging away. Then by Saturday, let's say they had Sunday class, by Saturday, when that rolls around, okay, now they only have 3 hours to do maybe, or 2 hours to do. And then they'll knock it out and then it's good. Can you describe our program, Piece of Pie, in, I don't know, 2 or 3 words?
Amazing and reliable.
Nice. And then top two things that helped you the most in the program.
The practice exams and having the tutors answer any questions you have.
So you put in the work. It was difficult, but it was worth it. And finally, what was the result that you ultimately got? Like the final result and like the improvement.
I had a 230-point increase and I got to an 800.
I have to digest that. It's like, bro, what? That's crazy. Well, congrats. You've joined the big leagues, the big
Thank
dogs.
you.
Welcome to the team, bro. What has the result meant for you and or like enabled you to do?
It got me to an SAT score that I can submit to all the colleges that I want to apply to. And it also let me be done with it really early in my junior year.
Yeah, for real. You did it before the digital test.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's awesome, dude. Do you have like any advice for anyone? I don't know, any junior out there. What would you tell a junior right now? Imagine somebody or like a sophomore, like coming up, because that's the people we got to talk to, right? Like, what would you tell them about test prep in general?
Honestly, start studying as early as you can. That's the best strategy because if not, you're just gonna have to keep retaking the test and you're just gonna get stressed out at a point because there's really not that many you can take before senior year, and the last thing you want to do is to be taking the SAT as a senior.
That's facts, bro. Because there's the freaking it happens every year. They have to study for the SAT, and then they have like college. I mean, sorry, senior, like their AP senior year, right, or whatever, and they have to maintain their grades because they're applying, and they have to apply, and then you throw in like senior events. It sucks. You gotta write like 30 essays, study, and like I'm like, dude, yeah. So, do you feel like you started at the right time, or would you even have started earlier, or like what?
I would have started earlier. I didn't think I was gonna join this program at the start, but I wish I would have started for the November prep and done it during the summer.
Had you heard about us earlier?
I had heard about you guys earlier.
How early?
I heard around like sophomore year, my end of my sophomore year. I had heard about it and I wasn't sure if I was gonna join or not. And then I like mid after November and October SAT, like before like when we started signing up for those, because you have to sign up pretty early, that's when I was like, I'm for sure joining this program. Like I want to get my score early.
You just didn't want to do summer prep.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it in the summer. I didn't want to, but I should have.
That's a tough summer to do it though. I feel like the summer going into junior year, like as a sophomore, is the hardest one to do it in because like you don't need to do it.
Yeah, you
Like
don't.
if you're in the summer going into senior year, that means that like it's kind of like your last chance before senior year.
Yeah,
So whenever we get those students, they tend to be a little bit more like intensely motivated. Like those are the ones that are like, yo, this is my last chance, and they go crazy. Before that, it's kind of like, I could wait,
yeah,
but then you got school,
that's
and
true.
then you got to balance that. Did the pressure help a little bit?
Yeah,
Did I make you feel guilty?
yeah, a little.
I'm sorry. I'm glad it worked out. Like, damn. All right, cool. Well, I guess is there anything else we should know?
Thank you guys for everything.
Yeah, of course. I'll tell who was your tutor?
I
Was it
had
the main?
Mars.
Well, I'll tell her you said thanks. She was the main one.
Yeah,
Um,
it helped a lot.
I really appreciate it. I mean, this helps tremendously. I mean, so other people can know what's up and hopefully improve their score. So let me know. I mean, I know it's early. I always tell students like, yo, let me know when you get into whatever school or blah blah. Um, but in a year from now, I mean, let me know, please.
I will. Thank you.
All right. You have a good evening. Bye.
Bye.